Anastasia, thank you. This Black History Month, we're highlighting Kansas Cityans making a difference in the community. It can carry a weight that many of us will never understand, to be both black and blue at a time when many in the black community do not trust the police.
Two men are standing in that gap while understanding the need for progress, too.
All new this morning, 41 Action News anchor Kevin Holmes sat down with Prairie Village Police Chief Byron Roberson and Overland Park PIO John Lacey to hear their perspective.
Many occupations require you to have thick skin, including this one.
You have a job to do.
But you know, adding that thick layer sometimes means you lose out on other important things.
I lost a friend this past summer. I've known him since elementary school, and said, with everything that's going on, I know you're law enforcement, I know we're good, but I can't be friends with you no more. As long as you're wearing that badge. That hurt.
Officer John Lacey, Public Information Officer for the Overland Park Police Department. Byron Roberson is Chief of Police in Prairie Village, the first ever Black PIO and police chief in Johnson County. Lacey says the community has really rallied around him and the department. Most of them, that is. There was this one phone call about 5 years ago.
At first I thought it was a compliment, but it was not a compliment. He said that he was surprised to see me in this role. And the reason why he was surprised, because he said that I did not look like the makeup of Overland Park. In other words, that I should be white. And, you know, I was taken back. It really hurt. I hung up the phone, and at that point I said to myself, am I cut out for this? And then something, I just reached down inside and said, you know what? I qualify for this job. I can do this job.
Chief, why do you think it's taken so long for there to be a person of color at the top of any police department in Johnson County?
We don't have very many black men and women that apply to be police officers. In order for us to be able to be in the pool of people who are being chosen for this position, we have to apply and we have to become police officers.
25 years ago, if I would have said, man, you won't be police chief in Prairie Village, Kansas, what would you have told me?
I would have agreed with you. It's always been my goal.
Another goal that both men have is to help their department build and maintain stronger relationships with communities of color, especially after a year that saw tense moments between the two groups.
Talk about we can learn, we can change, Chief. What do you think you all learned as an occupation, and you as a department? What have you guys learned since the protests, for example?
We learned that America is hurting, and America is who we are. Racism is real, but it can be defeated, and it has to be defeated inside of our structure first.
If you had to give Overland Park a grade on doing that right now, what would that grade be?
I would say an A-. And the reason why I say that is because we work well with the NAACP.
Lacey says his department often works with civic and civil rights groups to deliver messages of unity and equity across all demographics while breaking down racism.
Chief, same question. What grade would you give your department in terms of its relationship with all the communities, primarily communities of color and minorities here?
I truly believe that we are A- or B+, because there's still work to be done. We are doing that with our diversity task force, diversity committee that we have.
We often hear the phrase, too blue for the community, too black for the badge. What does that mean to you, and has there ever been a moment in your career when you can empathize with that saying?
That's a saying that's real. We have it on two fronts. First and foremost, I'm an African-American man, and any African-American man of my age has had to deal with some type of racism.
I'm a black man, and I'm also a police officer. I'm still the same person. You do see it you get it from the black community. My friends, how can you be a police officer after George Floyd, after Rodney King, after Breonna Taylor?
This particular year, 2020, hit us hard. It had a lot of different things going on.
The first thing that came to my mind was, Lord, why? Why?
Obviously, mistakes have been made with a lot of names that you have mentioned. If we make mistakes, there's no do-overs, and someone may not survive.
Survival is also why many black parents have the talk with their children, something these two officers have even had with theirs.
It makes me feel sad, because my grandfather had that talk with my father. My father had that talk with me, and I had it with my son. When will this talk stop? If you get stopped by the police, you keep your hands at 10 and 2. Cooperate with the police. You just want to survive.
Kevin Holmes, 41 Action News.
Wow. Both departments, by the way, are hiring right now. They're looking for men and women for from all different walks of life to become police officers and get into that pool that Chief Roberson was talking about. No prior experience necessary, just a heart and a will to serve, they say.